Hey guys, so this is what if Bob and Deadpool were in Young Justice Part 1, or went into Young Justice Part 1. Now I hope you guys enjoy this video. Now before I get in close into it, now this idea already off the bat, when I had this idea, I just had this idea when I saw some fan art of Bob and Deadpool in the Young Justice art style from season 1. And I just thought it was a super cool art style, and I wanted to do a what if off that art style. So I did this. So basically, this is what if Bob and Deadpool went to Young Justice, or went to the Young Justice universe to be more accurate. I just wanted to make the title a little bit shorter. So yeah, so I probably will end off this series around like maybe Young Justice season 3 or near the end of season 4. But yeah, so basically this is where Bob and Deadpool were in Young Justice, and I had this idea for a couple days, and I just wanted to do it. I didn't know in between if I should do it or if I shouldn't. But off the overall, after I did the think through of the story and everything about it and how I love it now, I'm really excited to make this. You guys are to listen to it. So yeah, also I am working on 2 other what ifs for next week. This video does count for August 7th next week, or August 8th next week. Next week. I'm recording this, I think the I don't remember, but I think the Sunday the 7th, August 7th. So pretty much August 8th, Monday. This counts for next week's what if. So the other 2 what ifs I'm going to be doing next week are going to be what if Deku, maybe what if Deku was raised by predators as an homage to the, latest, newest, Prey movie. And that movie was actually fire. I ain't gonna lie. I might do a review on that. So yeah, also, it is another video I'm working on, a what if idea I'm working on. I'm also going to be working on or trying to finish off that series I made a couple days ago for my 7K sub special, with when I made what if Deku's Todoroki 7K sub special, and I'm gonna make what if, because it was a movie idea, but I didn't finish it, so I'm gonna be doing a continue like sequel movie movie 2, and that's what I'm gonna be working on. But it's going to be I think my next big goal on my subscriber charts, my subscribers. That's probably gonna be the next thing. But I might make a second one for the next big milestone I reach on my channel, or I just might make it. But other than that, probably not. So most likely I'm just gonna make what if Deku was raised by predators, and also maybe what if what if Deku was Doctor Strange, the next part. So yeah, so if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and as always guys, just stay tuned. Let's get into the video. Now, it starts the story off with Bob and Deadpool in the main Marvel universe as they're fighting a universal threat. Basically some sort of C-tier villain with some very, very powerful tech that is connected to the multiverse, or different universe expansion, or travel. As the C-tier villain is using it to teleport around and basically punch and give the hands to Bob and Deadpool. And this time, Deadpool and Bob, in this time in the comics, or in this time in the Marvel main universe, they're like straight up partners. They just work together and fight crime and stuff like that. So as they're fighting, we see that Deadpool tells Bob to go flank him and basically, get his attention as he goes around and tries to get him. As Bob starts to just take out his guns and just start shooting randomly towards pretty much, the C-tier villain. As the C-tier villain starts to dodge more bullets, eventually him getting stabbed in the back by Deadpool, as Deadpool says, you gotta watch it too. You started fighting 2 people and you just started focusing on one. It's kind of stupid. As he kicks the guy down to the ground and grabs his universal device, or some sort of portal gun, as he looks at it, and it's like some sort of a pretty much Zim the Emperor type gun, like Zim pretty much type gun. Like, it looks very cartoony, a very cartoony generic alien gun. As he looks at it and sees, how does this even work? As he starts to mess with it, as Bob says to just put it down, as Deadpool presses the button, as he starts to pretty much, tussle it with Bob, as Bob and Deadpool are starting to fight over it like little kids. As the portal gun goes off and it shoots right beneath them as they fall through a portal into the DC universe, the Young Justice universe. As they fall down, on the ground, as they fall on top of a building called Katniss. As Deadpool says Katniss, as he takes or goes into his pocket as he pulls out a comic and says, I know this place. This isn't any place near Marvel. It's the Young Justice universe, man. I watched this show so much as a kid. As Bob is very much confused, saying, what do you mean, a kid? As pretty much Deadpool says, you remember the DC universe, the little comic panels that were in that one joint we showed up, and we fought a rogue mutant. As Bob says, yeah. As Deadpool goes on about how basically, well, we're in that universe, as the multiverse is real, and now we're in the DC universe. And in this world, in the main Marvel universe, Bob and pretty much Deadpool are in. Basically, the DC universe is a comic book world, or a comic book series that the Marvel readers watch, or Marvel characters read, and pretty much watch. As Bob and Deadpool are basically very much confused, as Deadpool just starts breaking the fourth wall, and basically realizes that he's in a fan fiction, What If? As well, he basically walks off the page, and what happened to my script? What? Hey, yo. Hey, guys, so it seems that Deadpool rewrote my script, so, let's just continue. So, last time I left off, basically, what happened is Deadpool befriended the team, just like that, and they weren't suspicious at all. Please don't hurt me. Okay. Let's just continue on with the series. So yeah. So basically, after the Deadpool would befriend the main group, Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad, as they would go along with their journey into Katniss to figure out what's going on. As Bob would have been kind of suspicious and weirded out by this whole thing. As Bob and Kid Flash would have started to, start to connect with each other, because in this universe, for some very weird reason, their age was well dealt down. As Deadpool was now 16 to 17, and Bob was now 15 to 16. Now, doing this, as Bob and Deadpool would have joined, the main team, Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Robin, onto their journey, they would have gone through Katniss, and they would eventually, find Superboy, and also the other aliens and tech that was down there, as they would still run in with, not Sportsmaster, but Guardian, as Guardian would have started to come at them and try to take them out, or stop them from seeing any more, tech or anything of the sort. As pretty much Bob would have just shot Guardian, not really thinking, and just shot him in the leg, making Guardian fall onto the ground before Guardian can even be told by the pretty much Xeno or the Geno to pretty much attack. So the fight would just end right there. The Genomes would still try to fight them, as Deadpool just take down a couple of his guns and just started blasting off bots. Just blasting off caps. They just felt like birds. They just started to go down like bop, bop. They were just out. So the Xenos basically just got shot down, and the fight barely even happened. So yeah, as they would still run away from the other Genos, as pretty much Deadpool, Bob, Robin, and Kid Flash and Aqualad eventually go into the KR room as they find Superboy. As they start to look at him and figure out what's going on, as they look through the pretty much panels or tech that's in the room, as pretty much Deadpool already knows who Superboy is, as he looks at Superboy and says, let's let him out. As Bob says, okay, as he pushes Robin out the way and just hacks it himself, because in this world, Bob is a very good with his hands tech guy. Kind of like Robin, but not as smart as Robin or Batman. But he is able to work around tech and other things like that, like technology and pretty much, other things like that. So what happens is, they release Connor, but Connor does start to attack them. As Deadpool gets punched with a haymaker by Kal-El, not Kal-El, but Connor. As Connor or Superboy, at this time KR, as he gets hit with a haymaker, his head blowing up. As Deadpool is automatically blocked, and all of them are shocked except for Bob, because Bob knows Deadpool's powers. As Bob sprints off and grabs a gun, as he starts to load it, as he did, unleash the whole clip when he was taking down the other Genos earlier, earlier on in the episode. As Bob starts to take out his gun, as he starts to shoot down more and more, basically not really thinking, just starting to load off, clips and basically just going crazy. As Bob has Bob has a really big arsenal, about 1% of Deadpool's huge and unpredictable arsenal. As Bob's arsenal is mainly all all guns and explosions, no katanas or anything like that. Bob doesn't really use knives. He uses blasters, laser guns, and sometimes, occasionally, grenades. But mainly guns are his main source of protection. And he does have boxing and also street fighting capabilities, but he isn't Taekwondo type strength or fighting skill. As Connor starts to beatbox everybody, as he eventually goes after pretty much Aqualad and Robin, as Robin tries to shock or taser Connor, as Connor just takes like a man and just throws Robin to the ground and starts to try to crush his chest in with his foot. As Aqualad jumps in and hits him with a haymaker with a aqua or water construct hammer, as Connor is sent flying. As Connor gets up and basically flies straight towards them, punching Aqualad, not really caring what he said in this canon. As Connor starts to fight Aqualad, as he starts to go ham and ham, as pretty much Connor tries to fight more and more, as Connor is very unskilled, him just using rage and, basic animal instinct type fighting to take down Aqualad. As he starts to jump up, getting Aqualad off his back like in canon, as Aqualad is almost taken out. As out of nowhere, Bob comes out of the, dust and starts to shoot down at Connor, and Connor sees that Bob and Deadpool are the last obstacle. As Deadpool gets up, his head being regenerated, and him grabbing a spare mask in his pocket, as his mask was obliterated or blown or ripped off of his face when his head was blown up by that Kryptonian punch earlier in the episode. As Deadpool gets up and grabs his gun, as he pulls out a whole type of Kryptonian bazooka out of his pants, in the comics, he pulls out some stupid, crazy weapons out of thin air, as he starts to unload the whole missile. Just starts to shoot at least 2-3 kryptonite missiles towards Connor. As Bob sees that this will kill Connor, and he did see one episode from the Young Justice universe in the Marvel universe, because in the Marvel universe, the Young Justice TV show is canon, and they watch it. So, basically what happens is Bob runs over to Connor, kicks him out the way, as Bob gets hit with it. As Bob sees that it's basically just kryptonite, kryptonite clay. So basically, pretty simple, it's just it's just a liquid, or not a liquid, but a putty version of pretty much kryptonite, moving at about the same speed as a tennis ball. So it hurts like a tennis ball, but with diamonds on the ridge of it. So it hurts and still cuts up, pretty much Bob. But we see that pretty much, the main missiles, they're just made out of hollow kryptonite that can barely cut through any human flesh, but the kryptonite is potent enough to instantly kill a Kryptonian if it's hit with first contact. So basically, Bob, before he gets knocked out, he chucks off a piece of the kryptonite missile into his pocket as he gets body slammed in the ground by Connor, as Connor gets up and basically backs away from the kryptonite and does a sonic clap move, pretty much obliterating Wade, pushing him into a nearby piece of chucked metal on the floor, impaling him, knocking him out. As after that, Connor gets out the room as fast as possible and passes out, as pretty much, Cadmus takes the kryptonite there and pits it under low surveillance, and basically just straight up, pits it into a nearby lead casing to get it out there as fast as possible. Now, the episode would end off there, as we see that a couple hours later in episode 2, fireworks. As we see that Robin, Kid Flash, Aqualad, Bob, and Deadpool are captured, as we see that they're all captured in the same type of tubing or technology or pretty much cases that they were in canon, as their DNA is trying to be taken or siphoned away from them to make clones to take their place, so the Justice League would never know what Cadmus is up to. So the same idea and plan Cadmus does to take down the team still goes as accordingly, as the team is still able to, get to Connor's head and basically convince him to get them and save them, as Connor is convinced and he does take their, side as they escape. As they start their journey to escape, as the Xenos, or not the Xenos, but the Genos follow them. As Deadpool's DNA is taken and everybody else's DNA is taken and shocked down and basically kept down, as doing this pretty much, they still escape like I said earlier, and they do take down the technology, or pretty much the, straight up, take down the DNA they got and destroy that so Cadmus can't make clones of them. But before they go, Robin wasn't able to fit the last batarang towards Deadpool's case of DNA. So later on in the series, we might see an evil version of Deadpool. But other than that, we see that, Aqualad and the rest of the team and Deadpool and Bob show up and pretty much are cornered by a couple of Genos, basically being stopped right there through the walls. As they start to get, pummeled, as they start to fight their way out of there. As Deadpool starts to take down bazookas, machine guns, miniguns, bobby guns, straight up just to go crazy, just shooting off a bunch of bullets. As eventually he takes out his katanas and goes haymaker mode, as he starts to cut off pretty much Xeno's heads and starts to just go crazy. As they tell Connor that we need to go, as Connor gets angry at them and lashes out in rage. As he takes down the four big Genos are Hulk level big, as they start to get out there as fast as possible. As Connor tries to fly them out there, as Connor figures out quickly that he can't fly. He can only leap really high. As he falls down with Aqualad, as he gets saved by Batarang, Aqualad grabs and they both are saved by Robin. As Connor's kind of distraught that he can't fly like Superman. As pretty much Deadpool says, as he takes or goes into his back pocket, as he grabs some sort of gravity belt he had in one of his comic strips, I think a couple years ago, in one of Deadpool's pretty much, run-ins with other aliens and, mutants and other things like that. He does have a gravity belt for some reason, so he chucks it to Superboy and says to put it on. As pretty much this happens when they're running in the halls and they find themselves in a dead end, but Robin says it's not dead end, that it's a ventilation system, and it's just enough for them to get out of there undetected, unlike an actual route in the hallways. So basically what happens is Robin still pretty much hacks into the ventilation system sensors, as they pretty much bait them into a false area, as pretty much they get out of there almost scot-free. As they're about to escape, as they go downstairs more to try to get out there, or upstairs more to try to get out there, before pretty much they're trapped. As Connor tries to punch through the door, as he sees that it's not happening. As Deadpool pretty much starts to say we gotta go, as they go upstairs, as they start to go faster and faster, try to get away from the Genos. Eventually they catch themselves in a corner by them, and basically Connor is told by the Genos that he is a brother and he needs to figure out what path he's going to do. As the same conversation happens, as Deadpool is strong enough to break through their amateur psychic abilities, because Deadpool's been gone through worse. He literally remember that one panel when Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, when Charles Xavier looked into his mind. Charles Xavier had a whole seizure, man. This went crazy. But basically what happens is, the Genos help them escape, and they tell them that we need to go. Before that happens, Blockbuster shows up, as Blockbuster starts to fight. And what happens is the same fight breaks out, the same Blockbuster going crazy in monster mode. And they start to fight crazy, as Connor and Blockbuster start to fight the first, as Robin, Kid Flash, Aqualad, Bob, and Deadpool jump in. as Deadpool starts to shoot and just leaf off hundreds of pretty much ammo, basically trying to take down Blockbuster from afar as he pretty much goes into the shadows with Bob, as Bob and pretty much Deadpool go in the higher balcony area in the lobby as the rest of the team are fighting Blockbuster, trying to keep his, pretty much attention on them. As Bob goes through his ammo, basically looking closer and closer and saying that I don't have enough to take down this behemoth. As Deadpool says, no worries. As he tells Connor to use a gravity belt, as Connor grabs the gravity belt and puts it on his waist, because originally it was just in his hands the whole time, as he puts it in his waist and basically presses it as he starts to fly. As he starts to fly around trying to get more of attention to Blockbuster, as Blockbuster's confused that he knows how to fly and that he can fly. So what happens is Blockbuster starts to fight him, and eventually Blockbuster gets his hands on him and throws him down to the ground, having the gravity belt malfunction and basically short out for a couple minutes. As well, the fight goes the same way, as basically what happens is Deadpool uses his teleportation belt and teleports right underneath Blockbuster, putting a whole, straight up huge bomb, as he says duck for it, as he teleports away, as Blockbuster's blowing up, as the bomb is so big that it takes down the pillars around them, as the building still falls down and collapses. As they run off, as pretty much, Deadpool and Bob are caught in the crossfire, but Deadpool takes a hit for Bob and grabs him and basically uses his body to shield him. Now the building still collapses, and pretty much the Justice League still show up. As the Justice League show up and they try to figure out what to do with Connor, as the team still looks at them and tells them that they're going to be a team. As the Justice League still tries to, pretty much see what's going on and figure out what you're going to do with Bob and Deadpool, as Deadpool... Wait, what? Okay. So the Justice League does accept Bob and Deadpool, so it's not a whole thing with that, but they don't trust him. Is that good? Yeah, okay. So doing that, pretty much after the team is, I guess, given a team, and they're given the pretty much base Mount Justice in Happy Harbor, as they are introduced to your new teammate, Megan. As Deadpool is straight up simping over Megan, and Deadpool, I can't make you ship with Megan. No, I can't do that. But whatever. So pretty much Deadpool does try to flirt with Megan. Same thing with Wally, but Bob doesn't really care for Megan that much. Now, you guys can decide who should be Bob's ship, but I'm pretty sure I don't really want to make Bob have a ship. Maybe just make a whole new character for him, like near Season 2 or something. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and as always, guys, have a blessed day.